but I had the opportunity. I played.
Hi everybody, I'm Elaine Pauly, the president of MagnaWave PEMF, and joining me today...
Is that me?
That's you. Art Still. I am not, a lot of people know this about me, I don't know a lot about sports, but Art...
I don't either.
You do too?
No, I'm just a brain surgeon, and that's all I wanted to be all my life.
Yeah,
a brain surgeon,
you're very successful at it.
Yeah.
Art Still is a Hall of Fame football player for the Kansas City Chiefs who just won the Super Bowl. So that's
I just won. Yes,
you
right.
won.
I did win the Super Bowl. You guys, congratulations me.
Yes, good job.
Thank you, yeah.
But Art is a MagnaWave user. You have a machine at home.
Yes.
And uses it all the time. So we're going to talk a little bit about how he uses it. We've had a really great discussion today about the active use of the machine. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about your career in football.
Okay. Well, originally I'm from Camden, New Jersey, and I had the opportunity of getting a scholarship. And I hate telling the same story, but it's a true story. It was more of a pre-med scholarship to University of Kentucky and all, but somehow or another I got sidetracked and started playing football. Mm-hmm. I'm still a brain surgeon and all on the side.
Yeah.
A legend in my own mind in that regard. but I had the opportunity. I played 4 years at the University of Kentucky, graduated, and got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been using the Beamer for a period of time, for about 4 or 5 years or so. And then going to the event and was talking with Pat, and we had a very good conversation.
He's a great
guy.
guy.
About it and all too. Had me say, hey, won't you sit on the table and tell me what you feel or how you feel? And again, my career as far as in the sport, contact sport, I got shoulder problems where, I've already went through the assessment where I'm supposed to have or I need shoulder replacement. Same thing with my left knee, back problems, hand problems, neck problems. You go through, you pounding your body, you figure 20 years, that contact sport, there was all kinds of issues and all. So, when I got on the table and, it was
the first time
yeah. So when I sat on there, it went directly to the part where, my lower back where I was having the problems at, and I could not only feel it, but even afterwards, getting off, and Liz, my wife, was there and all too. And we talked afterwards, and I talked with Pat about it, and it just made a lot of sense. And then he was talking about circulation, getting to the areas and all where, you have issues. Talks about working on your bone density and those types of things. And it just, I'm the type of guy, if it works, I'm going to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use it religiously. And I have, since then, I have my machine and all, and I use it on a daily basis. And with me, sometimes it's more so, some folks is just geared towards certain areas. I use it for my total body.
Yeah, you treat everything.
And so I just, and again, maybe it might be unorthodox or whatever in this industry and all, but I go through every day and all. 5 minutes working, rotating up through my whole body, even up where I'm doing,
your head,
my head and all, my brain and all too.
I do my head. I treat myself on the head.
And I use
probably weekly.
Yeah, and I use all the outlets. What you call them?
The attachments.
The attachments. I usually call them, devices and all. But
yeah,
I use the big ring.
And we have some here.
I use the small ring and all too.
So you use it every single day. And as a former athlete, do you think that there's more former athletes out there that would benefit from using something like this?
I think I go beyond that. The average person,
right.
Especially as far as guys that I play with. Yes, I mean this would be something that would help them, combat discomfort and all too. Because my situation, my shoulders and back, is constant, and I keep in mind that. Our bodies made do certain functions, but when you pound them like that, it's just, no matter if you didn't have injuries in your whole career or whatever, it's just a matter of time for those joints and all.
You're wearing it down.
But to me, if I had the opportunity, if I had to do it over again, this would be a part of my maintenance program when I was playing ball. Not only at, being a little bit proactive now, but now, even though I'm not getting, completely pain-free, it makes a world. When you're in pain all the time, if there's a 10% decrease in your pain, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And that takes you to another level and all too. And then as we start aging, things kind of breaks down a little bit and all. But not only physically, but psychologically, you're doing something to your body that's going to take you to another level. You're mindful of that and all too.
I think that's really interesting, the aging part of it. A lot of people don't think about the anti-aging benefits of using the machine. It's not so much like, yes, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have an issue. Do I need to use this machine? If you don't have an issue, that you could still benefit. And I think you've seen this too. Like, you could benefit, your whole body could just benefit from the wellness.
I don't know too many people don't have issues. There's no perfect person. I mean, everybody's got bumps and bruises. But then again, a lot of times there's the underlying thing too. We talk about the issues, stress. There's things that you can do, your body and all, and even the way we breathe and all too. There's a combination of things. And then we talk, a lot of information's talking about the brain and the gut. So what we put in our system, how we maintain our bodies. Life is full of stress, but you can avoid certain types of stress.
Will you tell me about the nuts and berries, talking about that? Tell me about why they called you the nuts and berries man.
Now this is back probably in 1983, 84 or so. They did an article in Sports Illustrated. They called me the nuts and berry because what I put in my system, what I ate and all too at the time. And to me, it just makes a lot of sense. Even back then, because you think about it, how our body's made, it's pretty intricate as far as reference, our fingers, our knees, all these types of things, how we think and how we move and all. And you think in terms, just like a car.
Yeah.
If you want to maintain and keep that car, you're going to put the right type of coating on it so it doesn't rust out. It's going to last you longer. You can put the right kind of gas, oil, you're going to maintain it. It's the same, more so for our bodies and all. Because how we show appreciation, sometimes we take things for granted, and our bodies are a marvelous tool that gets us, our feet and all, gets us where we are, and sometimes we forget that. And sometimes we forget, okay, if we do these little things, that body's going to do us a little bit better and all too. And like I said, there's a lot of things we can do as far as physically, what we eat, what we put in, what we look at, what we deal with. And then there's things like the MagnaWave that can enhance what we're doing too and takes it to another level.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this earlier, where if you're gonna use the machine, it's gonna there's benefits there. But if you're gonna just eat McDonald's and drink Gatorade, not Gatorade, but Mountain Dew and all of that afterwards. And that's going to be your main diet, you're just going back into, that toxic type of, that's what you're putting back into your body. If you are trying to eat healthier this new year, let's say you're eating better, you're not drinking, and then you start using the machine, what I've noticed is that it speeds up that healing process, and that body, you see the results quicker from eating well.
And I think the thing is, you got to keep in mind, just like, everybody's looking for, and that's the way, the society we live in right now. We want something to happen right now. Okay, we take this pill, we want to lose weight, or we want to feel better, or whatever and all. But again, keeping in mind, just like anything else in life, the best things in life takes a little time and all. If you've been living a certain lifestyle, it's not going to happen overnight. Even in regards to myself, when I use it, I'm usually doing some type of functional movement or whatever, and I'm working out.
An active treatment.
Yeah.
And I want you to show us what you do.
Well, I was going to say, and it does. It takes your workout to another level and all, because muscles, the contraction and all too, all that. And I find myself too, when I'm using the equipment, and I could be just sitting there and just, you get a sweat on. So you got your body's activating your body and all, getting the blood flowing, so to speak, in those certain areas and all. And it's a good feeling. But for some folks that maybe just starting off on it, what might happen is that made me sore here and there. And again, it's not the soreness is coming from maybe not exercising.
Right, your body has an issue.
So and it's something new. And it's just like anything else. If you go to the gym to work out, the first week or so, or a couple weeks, you're gonna be sore, and your body get acclimated, and then next thing you know, you get your body in that space, so to speak, where if you're not doing it, now you start to get sick. It's the complete opposite. But right now, it's, when you're going through that transition and all, you're going to feel like you're getting sick, because you're getting the circulation that you never had before, and then it's working on areas and all the muscles and all, which you haven't been really using.
And that's important too. We talk a little bit about this in our certification program, like educating our practitioners to explaining that to people. Like, if you don't know that you might be a little sore after a treatment, you're gonna think something's wrong. So it's really important to tell people before a treatment that these are the things that are gonna happen, and that actually means the machine's working, because sometimes healing hurts, just like when you go to a massage. Okay, so tell me, you use this one a lot, right?
I use that one. I use this one. I use this one.
So that's the butterfly loop.
Yeah, I use this.
This is the large loop.
The large one. Yeah, I use it for the whole body.
I know. So do you put your arm in and then do you work out?
I do a combination.
Look at me working out. This is it. This is my workout. Oh
yeah, look at them little guns, man. I'm gonna put some water in those little water guns. No, but I use it either like this, so I'll take it across and put my elbows, and it works this side of the body, my hands and all too. I'll take it over my neck, and again, it'll work your pecs and all too, and your traps and all. And I do this complete opposite. I take it around and loop it back there, and it'll work you up.
Like that.
But then another thing I do too is I'll take it through my legs, even if I'm doing my...
So you put your leg through there?
Both legs, and get it up to my waist, because I got lower back problems.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing cardio on the treadmill, but I'll put that on, walk on it. And the nice thing about it, it does. At first, you can feel that, it's almost like electrical, that pulse and all.
Yeah.
But you can feel it going through your legs and all. And to me, I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Because then it's working. And you probably know too, especially when you deal with athletes, they want to, you want to feel it.
Yeah. So you put this on, you go on the treadmill, and I think that's something our practitioners miss a lot.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I was working with this athlete and he didn't get results after one treatment. First of all, that's not, you could feel something after a first treatment, but if you are going to start using PMF and MagnaWave, you really need to do several treatments and get a program.
Yeah.
That's what our practitioners are there for. But also, you want to be able to... the active movement is a really great way, specifically with athletes that have a very, that's strong and they're working out. You're going to see results much better. Even if it's like an elbow issue, putting it on, moving the elbow back and forth. I've seen much better results with like tennis elbow, Tommy John surgery. They work on their, they do movements, in their physical therapy. Yeah. And then we have some baseball players who use this during that physical therapy program. So, if you're doing physical therapy exercises, you could do them with the attachments.
Well, I was going to say too, and I know we got the mat and all too, but the nice thing about that, you can I position it where I sit on it.
The mat or this?
This. Yeah. I use the mat too, but I'll use, I change it up. It's always nice because it hits it from a different angle and all. Yeah. As far as sitting on it and all too. I'll place it, like with my glutes and all, up the lower part of my back. And then so it'll hit that area, it'll hit the sciatic nerve, all that stuff up in that area. And it, to me, it's like relief and all for me afterwards and all. But it'll hit the areas and all where you have, poor circulation, you're having issues with and all too. I'll move it, I'll take it underneath my hamstrings and all too, over top of my thighs. And the combination, I'll take it over my stomach, because I'm always thinking in terms, we talk about circulation and bone density and those types of things. So I'm thinking, what can you really use it the most? Not only your joints, but I'm thinking if you get the blood circulating like in those organs and all.
Yes.
I'm thinking, your kidneys, liver,
it's true.
Spleen, prostate, and all that. It just makes sense. When you get blood circulating, you get the nutrition going in that area and it taking out that waste and all, and it promotes healing, so to speak. Yeah,
so we have horses get what's called colic, where their actual intestines get all bunched up and they can't go to the restroom, and it can kill them. They die from it. And so what we found is that whenever you treat, it helps get everything moving. We treat kids who have issues with incontinence, like going to the bathroom, specifically women with incontinence. Yeah. So I think one of the things that people get stuck on is they overthink it. Yeah. They're like, what can I use this for? What exactly, like I have just an elbow pain, I'm not going to use it for anything else. And they don't realize that just treating your body like you do, it not only is it preventative, but it's probably addressing issues that you don't even realize could have come up if you weren't using it.
Yeah, and it's a combination of things. It's always, when I talk to Liz, we always talk about the grandkids and all too. We always talking about, it's almost like being proactive and all. Because, we don't, and I'm using this analogy and all too, like raising kids. We use once their age, Now we got grandkids at the house who are living with us now too. And we raised our own kids. So by now we should have in mind, you want to be, before the kids get around the corner, you want to be there too. And that's the way we look at this right here, because we know with our bodies and all too, if you're an athlete, or if you just, everybody, I always say everybody's an athlete. Anytime you make any movement,
absolutely,
you sweat a little bit, or you're moving around, you're an athlete and all, maybe not in a form where you're making money or whatever, or competing and all, but again, the body needs things that's going to help it goes to the next level and all. We can exercise and all, but again, internally, there's some things that we can't do. Mm-hmm. And I think, we talk about food and supplements and those types of things, also, handling stress, but this is a device and all, or this is some therapy and all that takes it to another level. It's almost like you got to figure out, okay, this is part of my game plan, this is part of my game plan. How can I avoid this not being part of my game plan?
Correct.
Like we're talking about, some things you don't have no control over, but if you can avoid certain things, and we talk about medication and all too. Sometimes, there's a time and place for it.
And the thing is that you don't want to stop going to your doctor. No one's telling you not to take your medication.
No.
But you can also use modalities. You can use things like MagnaWave at the same time. Like you have nothing to lose, because it's either going to make you feel better or you're going to be at the exact same spot you are. It's not going to hurt you to try this and try something new. And I think that's, and we talked about this earlier, that's a big hurdle, is getting people, because they do, like, what are you doing with that machine? That's if it was so great, why doesn't my doctor already have it? Why doesn't my team have it? Well, that's because new things take time. It's the quote on the bottom of my email. Everything that's accepted takes 3 things. First, it's everybody says it doesn't work. Then it becomes nonsense, and then it becomes mainstream. Like, it takes time for it to be anything to be accepted. It was the same way with CBD and marijuana and all of that. First it was terrible.
What's marijuana?
You know what that is. And but now it's medicine.
No, just joking.
But now it's medicine, and they were saying that years ago, and they were called crazy. And I think that's everything. Just because your doctor isn't saying it, always talk to them before you add something. But I think that this is worth trying, and it's definitely it's, if you don't know, you go to our website, MagnaWavePMF.com. Right on the top in a yellow corner says find a MagnaWave treatment near you. You can meet up with one of our practitioners very easily. It's got the map of the world everywhere there. Art is also our new athletic ambassador.
I kind of, when I look at things, I don't look at the price per se. I look at the long-term effect. And sometimes when you start putting numbers together, it just makes sense. Sometimes the initial cost might seem, but in the long run, if you can stay away from doctors, or if that's going to help
medical bills.
Yeah. When you find things like that, it's going to help you not only physically and psychologically, but again, financially. Majority of people sacrificing their health for wealth, and then the second part of life, their wealth for their health. So if you can get in between there and do the complete opposite, long term, you're going to have enough health and all. If you want to work or continue doing what you want, you're going to be in that position and all. But again, you're going to take your money, you can utilize it other places.
A lot of times people say no immediately. Like, no, their first gut reaction is no. And I just wish we lived in a society where, it's not going to hurt you to try a new water system. It's not going to talk to somebody about something that's different that you may not have heard about. To have that negative approach is really a bad way. It's coming from a place of yes. Like, yes, I'll give it a shot. What's it going to hurt me to try something new? Could change your entire life. Sitting down on that mat with my dad is changing the trajectory of what you're doing. And I think that's what people need to really realize. And as a whole, not just with MagnaWave, but just as a whole, come from a place of yes,
And making me is all about too, because, I do a lot of things with young ones, student athletes in school and all. And I always encourage them make an informed decision. Don't take my word for it. Do the research. There's plenty of research out there and all. And that's why I say, there's, when you have a game plan, just like, a team, when they go out there, they got a game plan, they got the equipment, there's a variety of things they put together that's going to make them hopefully win the game and all. And that's the same thing with us in life. Sometimes we compete, But I always look at we compete with each other, not against each other
Yep.
and all too. So if you got that mindset, I think it helps somewhat.
You know, it's a community thing where you start seeing, and that's one of the things we try here at MagnaWave and with our practitioners and with people like, my dad always says, he's like, I find these like-minded people, and I know immediately that they're going to be great friends and great partners to have, because that's the goal, right? Is to have people who think like that and spread this community and do more for people. It's not just about making money and running a business.
Yeah.
It's about actually helping people, and I think that's the hardest part that we're facing as a business, is that we're trying to get out there to show people that this is actually something that they can try. And that's why I appreciate people like you, because you believe in it, and you don't believe in it because we're paying you to say that. You believe in it because it works.
Hey, where's my money? I ain't seen no money in here, man. We talking about some money.
No, we're
man.
not, but you like it.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, and this is, I seen this, and now this is my motto I live by when I start off in the morning. They say, when you help somebody, you heal yourself. And I always tell people, I got a lot of healing to do, so let me help you.
Okay, so you have a Pulse Pro.
Yes.
He has a Pulse Pro machine, and usually we recommend something specifically for athletes because they want to feel it. It's like you said.
Yes.
So we recommend like Pulse Pro and up. So there's the Julian, the Maya, and the Max.
I'm a Max daddy. No,
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
So the Pulse Pro, the Max is very similar. They're very similar. It's got to be something pretty strong.
Yeah.
The Titans have 4 or 5 of the Maxes. So what we found, UK has a Max. You know, some people, they're very similar. The Cincinnati
Bengals.
sports team, no, not
Reds.
football. Yeah, they have Pulse Pros. So usually that spark chamber range, the Pulse Pro or the Max is really something that they tend to gravitate to because they can really feel it.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, maybe according to sports and all too, because more so in the contact sports, that's pain is part of our game. So, in part of the healing process, we got to feel a little pain. I mean, we think it's you feel it and all too. I think maybe baseball might be a little different and all too, because I wouldn't say it's not a passive sport, but it's a little different than that contact sport.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then we talked about concussions, like after somebody treating some of the residual effects after concussions, and then we've treated people who've had strokes afterwards to help with some of their speech and their paralysis. So I think what we're doing though, again, is we're working alongside with the doctors.
Yeah.
And continue seeing their doctors, but they also see the benefits from using this. So Chris, do we have like a list of all the sports teams that are using it? I can kind of go off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll pull up here as you kind of go through.
Yeah, so we can go through some of the sports teams.
I think Oakland,
Yeah.
Oakland A's, Tennessee,
Atlanta
Titans.
Braves.
Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds,
the Broncos,
Denver Broncos.
Jaguars, Eagles. Locally, the
Eagles. Louisville City Soccer, the soccer team locally, and then University of Kentucky, where he's a Hall of Fame football player there as well.
I think what we're talking about as far as in reference to the MagnaWave, we're not saying it's not going. We're not saying it's going to heal it, but it helps get in areas and all, get the blood circulating. Because only way you can heal is your body's got to go through the process and all too. But these just enhance areas and all. Maybe you can get that circulation otherwise, or because of restrictions, you have issues. And I'm not saying, because sometimes people say, if you do this, it's going to make you this and that. That's not what we're saying. It's going to help you in those areas. But you also got to do other things to promote or take it to the next level. When we talk about sleep, stress, nutrition and all too. And it's just part of the game plan. I mean, it's not going to say, if you do this right here,
you're going to be Superman.
Yeah, you're good to go, or go to good. Well, if you're good to go, that may mean something else.
Yeah.
We don't want to go that way.
No, we don't. No. So what did you notice when you first started using it? You got the most benefits. Like, where did you feel it? You noticed it first?
My shoulders and all. Even though, and I still have problems, reaching out but I can almost guarantee you that if I haven't been using this equipment, and then I say there's other things too. I exercise, I use bands and all too, along with this, that I probably couldn't reach, because people, when I tell them I need shoulder repair, they said, so you can't get your arms up in the air, but I can get my arms up. I might feel a little bit, but as a person, if you did need a shoulder, I don't think you could do that.
No.
And I got all the documentation, the medical assessment from Tulane Medical Center and all too. But the doctors down there told me, they said, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it.
Well, that's what you're doing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So if we don't have any more questions, I think what we're going to do today is we're going to show you some more of our products later on today. And we're going to introduce him to the Wave Oasis bed, which is our vibration bed and the MagnaWave PMF in it, which is really, really cool. It's a bed and a chair. It can be both. You can lay it on a massage table. So we're going to introduce that. We do have some sports teams using that.
Yeah, I done tried many things out. If it doesn't work, I don't mess with it.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, maybe it might work for somebody else, but if I don't I can't talk to anybody else, and that's why I gravitated to the MagnaWave, because I know it works.
Right.
I know it works for me, and I've seen it used around me and all too, and it just makes a lot of sense.
Awesome.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist.
You don't have to be a rocket
You
scientist.
can be a brain surgeon, that makes a difference.
Yeah, it will help a little bit.
Yeah.
And so if you have any questions about MagnaWave, you can go to our website, magnawavepemf.com. You can find a practitioner there. We are building an entire page for Art. We're going to have his information on there. So if you want to fill out the contact us form, we do have a loaner program for professional teams. So, Art could be happy to talk to any of the teams and his questions about how he's using it. He's going to really be our ambassador in that ring to be able to talk to those people. I don't think we have any more questions, right? Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll announce on the page when the next webinar will be, and have a wonderful day.
So I know you all.